Outer Orange.
The biggest meat and bones here that we kind of want to go over is this spot right here. What has changed? So pretty much, long story short, this girl right here has become your next attacker. She pretty much corresponds with this. We now have extra cards that can pretty much do the condition of attacking multiple times. This requires a soul though, and this requires a counterblast. However, this gets extra power. This is a 15k attacker, this is a 10k attacker. So that's actually why I cut back Ascendus Assault to 2 and I made her the main attacker, because in all situations this is usually the better choice of the two, because she just straight up restands herself. I cut back here to make more room for her because I think these cards are just a little bit better. I am still experimenting sort of like what I want to do in terms of the attack ratios. No, stay for, you gotta get up super early. Bye, Fuzzy, no worries, see you later. I think the Zorgo ride line because I took it out and then I put it back in. Oh, sorry, I just realized my Zorgo ride line is not in order. How dare I? I'll put it up here. Zorgo ride line. So with that being said, I took out the Zorgo ride line a couple times. I ran the Flagbrick ride line, ran the Roro ride line. I found out that the Zorgo ride line is still good. I thought because we got like more access to better cards, I thought cutting back the orders would help the deck, but all it made it was even more piece reliant and more bricky. So because it's so piece reliant and bricky, I actually put the orders back in just to draw further in, and this setup has been working so far. The other thing I don't really like, I don't like having this at 2. I really want to put this to 3, but I don't have like a good spot for 3 right now. And then for the orders, I think this is the GOAT now. Especially now with having a rear guard that gains power on her own. I think this card is still just amazing. This card now just straight up filters for you and just pretty much gets you a card to the board for free with a soul cost. And then this slot can be like whatever you want it to be. I still value Nectar as just an insanely good but you can now put it on the grade 2, you can put it on inlet, whatever you want. I think Nectar's just good. And then I run an extra soul body condensation in case I run into a situation where I do have a sense of soul and I need the extra 5k. This is pretty much like that retire guy, but in an order now. So that's sort of where this is. You can make this 3 Nectar, you can make this 3 soul body condensation. Just be careful with the soul. Soul is an issue or something you should be more cautious of because of the fact that this girl soul blasts and this guy counter blasts, right? So because we're running more of this, you do want to be careful with your soul and how you utilize it. You do have these guys to kind of help you replenish it, and that's actually why I'm running him at 4, but just something to keep in mind. But this is sort of where I'm at right now. I made, like I said, I like went through quite a few changes. Eventually at some point I didn't even have these in here. I had the rolling prison dragons at some point, took those out. I had this at 3, I went back to 4. I ran more copies of these, but then I cut back somewhere else. So there's just something to think about, but so far this list has been working really well. I really like it. I think it does the same thing Flagbrick was already doing, but with like more actual consistency. Because before, like pretty much these cards were pretty like this was 2 Ascendus Assault, and then these 2 cards were the Retire Girls, and now I'm seeing the Retire Magnolia cards instead of now I have actual consistency. Time for you to go to bed. Bye, Eric. Bye till next time. What's the name of the grade 1 order? This is called Resentment. In the dim darkness of the frozen resentment. Sorry, in the dim darkness, the frozen resentment. I'll look up the word resentment. That would be the easiest thing to do. It's also in the same set as set 6. It says 6 stuff, so whatever set 6 is, it's in there too. You're welcome. But yeah, I think this order ride line's fine. I think the attackers are fine. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 attackers pretty much now, and you have ways to revive them with this. So it all just works pretty well. I'm crawling my way out of Deer Days and learning all the other cards. Nice! That's a good idea. I think Deer Days is a really great place to kind of catch up and learn Vanguard. Especially since you have access to the entire card pool, essentially. As long as you keep playing the game, you just have access to everything. I think that's a great spot to learn, so... Frozen Resentment. Oh, it does drop next month, doesn't it? That's actually really hype. I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to experiment with more stuff because this card makes all Stoicheia decks that run orders just better. This card literally does what Soul Body Condensation does, but better. The only downside is literally the 5k. The fact that it doesn't have the power can be a downside, but other than that, this card's like just an amazing card. It pretty much power crept Soul Body Condensation out. It still didn't take it out completely, but it pretty much moved it to the side. But yeah, we'll see where sort of the Flagbrick goes, but this is kind of where I've been testing it right now. And we'll see. If I were to enter Worlds like tomorrow, if I were to take Flagbrick, I think I would take something close to this list. and I would feel pretty confident about it. But I would need to do like excessive amount of testing to be 100%, and I'm not doing excessive amount of testing, at least for myself. So that's that. Yeah, it's a great card. So essentially, the best thing about it, you Soul Blast, you know, whatever. Look at top 3, pretty much deck then something, and then you can call out whatever, right? So you can, you say you don't have any targets, you can always like call out like the thing you Soul Blasted, so you can call out this instead. You know, you have options. Yeah, exactly. Deck thinning, and it is one step closer to all your pieces, so you can find an inlet on the top, you know, mill it out, and then call something else, since, you know, on grade, usually you'll use it on grade 2. And or pretty much as soon as you can, right? You'll use it as soon as possible, and you'll just mill out whatever important piece you need, and then you can just call out something else. It's pretty great. It's a very, very great card. Worlds is going to be hype. I am hoping to see something other than Narus everywhere. I mean, depending on the format you're playing, I think Worlds is gonna be super great. I think this is gonna be a really great Worlds. I hope I'm not eating my words right now, but I'm actually really excited. I think it's gonna be a great time. I think people are going to bring some really awesome stuff. I don't think V is going to change too much, but I think D is going to be really interesting to watch. I think Premium is going to be really interesting to watch. So we'll see. Yeah, I know you only do Premium. I think Premium and D are going to be the most interesting ones. I think V is just going back to BRO format, and along with a BRO format plus Maidens. I also built at Magnolia. It's gonna be Maidens plus. It's gonna, instead of it being just Maidens, it's now going to be Maidens and Ange and Luard. We got a little addition. So I recently built out Magnolia. This list isn't perfect. This is my testing list. So if you guys don't know, Inlet will be unrestricted for Worlds and on. So I decided, why not start testing it? So that's what I did. I know Melonomat, actually, who's currently in chat, has brought up, you know, Magnolia, that Magnolia is going to be pretty strong. I don't disagree. I actually highly agree with him. That's actually one of the reasons why I've been testing Magnolia. I think it's going to be a very strong deck. And I think it'll compete into the meta that we're going into. So I wanted to kind of go over with you guys sort of my thoughts on the deck and sort of where it stands now that the unrestriction list will be happening pretty soon. Like I said, this list isn't perfect. I was never a big Magnolia player to begin with, so Magnolia is one of those things where it's like, well, if I'm on a team and I'm forced to play it, this is my proxy for a grade 4. I have one coming in. I thought I had the 4th copy. It's either somewhere or I just don't have it. And then we have Inlet Boy. And this one does have some weird triggers going on, so this one will definitely go over the triggers because they're very all over the place. Something I've never really understood in the D, the standard and premium format in terms of deck making, I only know of D because it was the easiest to understand. That's interesting because D is actually the most probably complex in terms of deck building. Well, it's complex and it's not complex. So the thing about D is that you have the open variety to build whatever you want because Ride deck exists. But then because the format is so new, there just isn't enough cards in the card pool. Hello. Because there's not enough cards in the card pool, you're still kind of stuck with like cookie cutter decks. And also, hello Yuki. Sorry, I said hi and I realized I didn't say your name, so you didn't know who I was saying hi to. So Magnolia. So I'm running the non-Persona version, obviously because it's not Persona version, but you can run the Persona version too. There's different variations. So currently, I'm running 4 of the grade 4 Magnolia, obviously because you just need the card. It's like your win con essentially. Since Inlet is back because this is with the unrestriction, so we obviously are running Inlet again because Inlet is really strong with this combination. I'm running Teddy because I think his name is actually Gonesia or something like that, but I just call it Teddy. I'm running Teddy at 4 copies right now because I think Teddy is just super good. This will probably turn into something else, but I'm running Bison right now, but this will probably turn into the Tiger, the one that gives guard restrict along with this combination right here. So this is Alvin. This is another guard restrict card, and pretty much what he says is during his battle, If he attacks from the back row, you have to guard with 2. And then this right now is Bison. Bison pretty much says when he attacks the entire front row, but the CB is really heavy, so I'm actually going to probably change this. Tiger Guide instead says you pretty much can't guard with whatever your opponent has on the board, which I think is better than the Bison. But if the Bison wasn't a counterblast, but like a different cost or something, I'd probably run the Bison still. But the cost, weirdly enough, the counterblast is actually very important. Now, this is kind of like the newer stuff, and actually I don't have the other card, the Gray 2, and I don't remember what it does, but I'm actually running this card, which just came out. This is Sorol, and pretty much it has 2 skills. When placed from deck or hand, you can Soul Blast and top 5 for a Magnolia. It can be the Grade 3 or the Grade 4, and you pretty much just put it to hand. And its other skill says when you would Persona, the Persona always also goes to the back row. You got a good Mac list I could chuck at you? Yeah, sure, go for it. By all means. I know you've been testing Magnolia a lot. I'm kind of just messing around right now, just having fun. So that's what I've been doing. So this card is really good just to secure your Grade 4s. You literally lose the game if you don't ride the 4. Like straight up, you just lose. So this is a really good deck thinner and good to see. Also, I like this card in the regular Magnolia ride line, and I've actually thought about maybe switching back over, but I'm instead running the Zorga ride line right now because I just think it's too strong, because I'm also just a lover for the Zorga ride line. But I'm also in this deck as well, I'm also running the Resentment orders because, again, they're just so good. And in this deck, Soul isn't an issue at all, so you can just Soul Blast for days. Like, Soul is not an issue. And then I also run the Wild Intelligence at 3 right now, and that's pretty much the main bulk of the deck. Ideally, you want to see Inlet as fast as possible. You want to copy Teddy. You want Teddy to copy all your skills, put him on your Guard Restrict Boy. You want this to search. You want this to search. You want this to go mill and call stuff out, and then, you know, obviously this to find. And then for triggers, right now I'm running the regular heals, but I'm actually going to put the restand. I'm probably going to put the restanding Vanguard heals in because the meta we're going into is very Vanguard focused. So I'm running 4 of the regular heals, but that'll probably change to 2-2. And then I'm running the Soul crits, and then I'll probably just move it up here. I'm running some draws. Draws I think are at 2, right? I'm sorry, 3. I got regular crits right here, and then we have some fronts because fronts do play a role in this deck, and then we have the OTs, so something like that. So you don't see the draws, but there's 3. I'll move the draws. I'll move them right here or something. They can stay right there. DM, thank you, I appreciate it. I'll look at it a little bit. Thank you so much. But that's kind of what I've been rolling with. I tested it and it played out very smoothly. The only card I'm kind of iffy about is actually this card, but everything else played out very well. You don't like the counter heals as much as the multi-attacking is superior calling writing. The counter heals are pretty good against decks that just have a restanding Vanguard. They're ideally just really good there. They're also really good into Flagberg. Something I noticed into mirror matches and Flagberg. It's actually why I was running both counter heals. One was into Gravidia, the other one was into Flagberg. So they're pretty good. I don't know about premium, but I know in D these actually work very well. And now with not so much Youthberg, but we have Overlord, Leticia as the main ones, and then Flagberg is another one, and then personally, no one's really playing it, but Fertia is another one. Fertia is a really strong deck, and that's another one where those heals really pop off. Join me in chat at Kettertown. Show your... I made this deck, so this was Roroa, and then I made it into Magnolia. I took apart Roroa. I had Roroa, and I was like, and then the minute they unrestricted Magnolia and Inlet, and I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and, let's make it all encounter cards. That'd be really cool. I do wonder, it would be interesting, and I think it actually be really cool if they did like Pacifica, Coral, and Rivier as like the 3 main rides. I would lose my shit. I would actually lose my shit. You would see me on the ground. I would just literally I'd just be on this rug right here. This rug right here, just on the ground going. I'd be so happy.